Hello students, welcome to my class. Today we are discussing about the topic capital gains. Basically, income tax means direct tax. We have 5 categories of head. First one is income from salary. Second one is income from house property. Third one is profit or gains from business or profession. And fourth one is capital gain. That is the topic we are discussing today. And fifth one is income from other source. So, let's see what is capital gains. Any profit or gains arising from the transfer of capital asset affected during the previous year to an assessee is taxable under the head capital gain. So, the income tax discussing this capital gain topic in the section 45 subsection 1. Following are the conditions to be satisfied to assess the income under the head capital gain. Let's see what are they. First one, there should be a transfer of asset. What do you mean by transfer? Transfer is just the sale of the asset or relinquishment of the asset or extinguishment of the asset. Next condition is transferred asset should be a capital asset. We will discuss capital asset. What are the capital asset in the next slide. Third condition, the transfer must be effected during the previous year. So, let's see types of capital asset. Broadly, there are two capital assets category. First one is long-term capital asset and second one is short-term capital asset. So, what do you mean by short-term capital asset? Short-term capital asset means a capital asset held by an assessee for not more than 36 months immediately preceding the date of transfer. That means an asset which are coming under 36 months or the duration is less than 36 months, it will be categorized as short-term capital asset. But for the following asset, the period shall be 24 months. So, what are those assets? First one is equity or preference share not listed. Second one, the immovable property being land, building or both. And also, following are the assets, the period shall be 12 months. First one is equity or preference shares of Indian company listed in recognized stock exchange. Second one is debentures, bonds, government securities, derivatives and other securities again listed in recognized Indian stock exchange. Third one is units of Unit Trust of India. And fourth one is mutual fund specified in section 1023D and last one is zero coupon bonds. So, what will be the long-term capital asset? It is simply the capital asset which is not short-term capital asset is called a long-term capital asset. For example, the asset the duration is greater than 36 months, then it will come under long-term capital asset. So, let's see what you mean by short-term capital gains. Capital gain resulting from the transfer of short-term capital asset is called short-term capital gain. And short-term capital gain are added with the income of the assessee from other heads of income and taxable at normal rates. We already discussed what are the other income coming under the other heads. So, basically this short-term capital gains will be added to the other incomes and will be taxable at normal rates. But in the case of long-term capital gains, it is different. Let's see. Capital gain resulting from the transfer of long-term capital asset is called long-term capital gain. But this long-term capital gain are taxable at a concessional rate of 20% plus surcharge if any. According to the financial year 2020-21 or the assessment year 21-22, the current cess charge is 4%. So, 20% plus 4%. Let's see the computation of short-term capital gains. Normally, we are following this pro forma for computing the short-term capital gains. So, as you can see, particulars column, workings column, amount column. First item is full value of consideration. What do you mean by full value of consideration? It is nothing but the selling value or the sale proceeds we received from transferring the capital asset. After that, we should deduct expense of transfer. That may be a commission or any other expense relating to the transfer. After deducting that, we will get net consideration. After finding net consideration, we should adjust the purchase value to get the capital gain. So basically there are two items coming under this. First one is cost of acquisition. It is nothing but the purchase value. Next one is cost of improvement. If we improve anything to the capital asset, that amount will come under this part. Next one, after adjusting this thing, cost of acquisition and cost of improvement, we will get short-term capital gain before exemption. And there are numerous exemptions for this. After deducting that exemptions like 54B, 54D, 54G and 54GA, we will get short-term capital gain. So like this, the next one is a computation of long-term capital gains. Almost the same steps we should follow. First one is full value of consideration, then deducting the expense of transfer, then after we will get net consideration. Then again the changes that can be seen here is the cost of acquisition and cost of improvement will be indexed. So after computing net consideration, we will deduct indexed cost of acquisition and indexed cost of improvement. So we will get long-term capital gain before exemption. After that, we will deduct so many exemptions that are listed in the screen, that are section 54, 54B, 54D, etc. After that, we will get the long-term capital gain taxable. So how we can compute the indexed cost of acquisition or indexed cost of improvement? We have an equation for that. Indexed cost of acquisition is equal to cost of acquisition into CII of the year of transfer divided by CII of the year of acquisition. So here, what do you mean by CII? CII means cost inflation index. We will discuss in the next slide. Let's see the second equation, that is for indexed cost of improvement. Again, cost of improvement into CII of the year of transfer divided by CII of the year of improvement. Here the point should be noted. In the case of asset acquired before 1/4/2001, cost of acquisition or fair market value of the asset, whichever is higher, should be indexed. In such a case, cost of improvement before 1/4/2001 shall not be considered. So let's see what you mean by CII, cost inflation index. Cost inflation index is actually an index that using for adjusting the inflation in the calculation of capital gain. So income tax has provided a table for this CII that is showing in this screen. According to this 2020-21 financial year, the CII is 301. So today we discussed about what do you mean by short-term capital, what do you mean by long-term capital, and what are the short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain, and the calculation. So today we are winding this class. Thank you.